Current BG on the decks. I'm gonna check soon. What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Diabetics. What is going on? What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Diabetics. I am sitting on the floor on my yoga mat. It is Thursday night, and I am your Saturday person. Yes, Thursday night, Saturday person. We pre-roll sometimes. I'm in my room, and today we're going to talk about pros and cons of whatever diabetes device you use, whether that's Dexcom, or if you're on injections, or if you're on a pump, whatever. Today, I'm going to talk to you guys about injections. And not my Dexcom, because I don't feel like talking about that. Maybe I'll add some side notes. So I'm gonna give you guys the pros and cons of having injections, and I'll put some side notes in there about pumps and why I decided to go off my pump. I was recently on my pump. If you've been paying attention to Daily Diabetics, or if you've been following me on Instagram or my vlogs, the Diabetes Daily Hustle, which is just Diabetes Hustle, not daily. So let's get right to the juice. The reason why I decided to get off my pump was I was tired of insulin resistance from scar tissue, basically. And it wasn't really like I was having scars, but I was having bumps on my insulin sites from the insulin, basically, and bad sites, and leading to high blood sugars, and just not feeling comfortable with a pump. And I was like, I love injections and I like having a pump. My biggest thing I like to remind myself is it's not the tools we have, it's how we use them. Injections, you can have a great A1C with injections, you could have great control with a pump. It's to each his own, and I feel like I want more freedom with injections, and I just didn't want another device on my body. I don't mind it, but it was more about the high blood sugars and the low blood sugars and changing the site. It just wasn't worth it to me. Injection to me with syringes, like, take your injection and that's it. So that was my biggest reason. So I'll start off with a pro with injections. Number one pro, inject it in your body and leave. That's it. There's no staying on your body and leaving. I know a lot of people hate needles, but here's the thing. I don't use pen needles, which are the needles that go on flex pens, because that leads to too much insulin leakage. I use syringes, and I know that sounds old school, and why would you do that? But these don't have leakage. Once you inject it, you got all your insulin. Imagine if you're taking 1 unit on your correction of Novolog with your pen needle and you have insulin leakage. You are guaranteed to have leakage. Just look at your pen needle after you inject. You're gonna see leakage, even when you hold it under your skin, which you should be doing even if you are using a pen needle. Imagine, getting leakage from 1 unit. So that's a kind of a con slash pro. Like, I like just injecting and then going about my day, not worrying about my site. That was kind of my big reason. And don't get this wrong, guys, this video isn't about telling you to get off your pump. I'm a big fan of whatever you like using. Just like manage it. Like, if you're on injections with Tresiba, Lantus, Levemir, whatever basal, get your basal down. Like, fine tune that, test it, see what kind of insulin. Does Novolin work for you? Does Novolog work for you? Does Humalog better for you? And what meals work for you? Fitness and just all that stuff. Just incorporating everything about diabetes to have better management. Now, I know a big con, shout out to Owen, which is our other daily diabetic person, talking about forgetting your basal shot. That's a big one, and for me it's even bigger because, see that's my nightstand over there. Right next to that is my bed. I take Tresiba twice a day. I know that sounds crazy. I don't feel like getting into it, but I follow Dr. Bernstein's regimen on splitting your basal insulin and how to conquer dawn phenomenon and just having really fine-tuned blood sugars, which I'm slowly trying to get better at, don't quote me. But I take my second shot at 4 a.m. I'm asleep at 4 a.m. I don't wake up. I'm not in the military. I don't do none of that. I have 2 alarms, and the thing that helps me wake up for that shot is, 1, I have alarm number. But number 1 is I sleep with good energy. I sleep and I remind myself, and I say affirmations to myself. I will wake up at 4 a.m. I want health. I want a healthy life. I want to feel good. I want to wake up and have a reason to also pee and wash my hands and just drink some water and then go back to bed. I know some people, when they wake up, that's it. There's no more going back to sleep. That's something else. I don't know that conversation. And 4 a.m. doesn't mean that a lot of people should do that. If you're splitting insulin, that doesn't mean that works for everyone. Sometimes I forget and I take it at 6 a.m. That's a downside. Use your phone. You can make it a priority, and I know some people are forgetful and whatnot, but you make it a priority. If it's about money or something like a concert, you won't forget that because you care about it. You care about your management. Just add reminders, alarms, do whatever you can. Tell your mom, dog, brother, sister, tell them like, hey, set an alarm. Like, don't forget it until it becomes a habit. So that's a con. And don't forget, guys, like, diabetes can teach you a lot of things if you let it. This can teach you how to be more organized and very routine and very disciplined when it comes to especially basal testing. Like, I basal test a lot because I'm back on injections. I need to figure out what doses work for me. So that's discipline and being organized, being more patient, not changing my dose every single day on my basal. I need to wait a couple days. So this isn't really a pro or a con, but a lot of people only talk about bad sites wherever you inject or have your pump with insulin pumps. They never talk about it with needles. Now, sometimes you can inject and still get a wrong site. Now, for me, when I eat my food, I don't inject in the muscle because I want it to absorb correctly in the, I guess, the graph of how the insulin's working with a low carb meal versus having a quick shot of muscle. And especially, I know I'm jumping around, I don't inject in the muscle with basal. That defeats the purpose. This doesn't work for everyone, but for the majority of people, if you're injecting basal in the muscle, it defeats the purpose of basal because basal means long acting. And when you inject in the muscle, that means it's gonna start sooner and wear out quickly, and it's gonna be absorbed even stronger or more potent and quickly, because that's what happens when you have high blood sugar. You want to inject in the muscle. So that's definitely kind of a con. You need to be aware of the sites you have, but it's a huge pro because it's one injection. Let's say you inject and you get a bad site or you get a little leakage from your needle. It's not there forever. You don't need to change your pump, throw away a bunch of insulin. That's a huge pro. Number two, a pro of injections, you don't need to carry a bunch of stuff. And I know people make it seem like you got to carry a lot, but I literally just carry this. This is a Frio pack, and it's not even Frio. It's just the blanket. I have my Novolog in here, and I have literally one syringe that I'll reuse because I only eat one meal during work. In my 6-hour shift, which is lunch, I'll use it for a correction if I need to, if I eat a snack, and there's an extra needle in my backpack. Bada bing, bada boom. That's it. It's in there. I am really serious, man. I usually joke around a lot with you guys, but man, I'm just giving you the... Another con about injections is, like, you know, even that I use flex pens with syringes. Basically, I take out the insulin out of a flex pen with a syringe because pen needle leakage is, you know, sometimes I'll go to the bathroom because I work with special needs adults. I don't want to show them that I'm like about to inject. And of course, awareness is important, yada, yada. Sometimes I just don't feel like going out in public and having everyone stare at you like thinking you're doing drugs or you're doing something crazy or steroids in the gym. I have to go somewhere else versus when I had a pump, I would just click a button and I was there. Or, you know, if I'm driving, I couldn't just, obviously you don't want to text and drive, but you know, if you're at a stop sign, you can press bolus right now as you're driving to whatever you're gonna eat to, or just stay ahead of it. But that's just another excuse. We don't have to make that a con. You can just put the big boy pants on and just inject in front of people, or just make time to bolus. Guys, I really appreciate you guys watching. I definitely didn't talk about Dexcom like I said I would, or kind of add that in there. I hope you guys got some value from this. Remember, my big message to you guys, it doesn't matter what diabetes equipment you use, it's how you use them. Of course, you can take that to a major extreme, and it's always how you use them. Don't take it to an extreme. Do what works for you. Of course, that's important. I am not a doctor. We are not doctors. We probably won't be doctors, so don't take our advice. Consult your healthcare provider. That being said, make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Daily Diabetics. Peace out.